Grandma's Porch. Sit down, relax, and let's chat. Keeping it simple with Diana Brienne. Keeping it simple, Grandma's Porch. Hello you all, I'm Diana Brienne, and I am just out here on my front porch, and it's almost evening, and my door's going to shut on me. Can you hear it? And I think we have to oil that door, but you know what? I actually tell my husband, don't oil the door, because then we can't hear people come and go. So I better grab it. There it goes. The wind blew it. Well, I wanted to come on here today and talk a little bit about Grandma's Porch. And I'm working on changing my channel name. Now, I'm not sure exactly the name, but it'll sort of kind of be like what you're seeing now, something to do with Grandma and Grandma's Porch. And so anyhow, I came on here and I wanted to talk about keeping life simple. Well, I am working on this painting here, and it's not done by any stretch of the imagination. And as many of you know, I am an artist, and I'm a writer, and I'm a mom of 3 young adult kids, and I am a wife of almost 30 years, and I am 62 years old, and I run every day. And usually 5 miles, or at least I do a power walk, one or the other. And I go to the gym, work out about 2 hours average, and I started college this last year at the age of 62 after being out for 40 years. And now I'm starting my next semester in a week, and they're all advanced courses. Yikes! And I'm going to be busy an hour away, so I have to drive an hour away. So I chose to do that rather than rock away on the porch. But, you know, I believe in keeping life simple, and it doesn't sound like I am, but I am. I keep things convenient. I keep things easy. I try to break things down into small parts to keep life simple. And that's what my grandma taught me. She said, you know, life is as complicated as you make it, or it's as simple as you make it. And so I try to make life simple and keep simplicity in my life so that I can achieve the kind of results that I want in my life. Keep it simple. So when I encounter a problem, or I'm working on a goal, or I'm working on a dream, or whatever, I try to break it down. I try to keep it simple. And so my videos are keeping it simple as well. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing, is keeping life simple. This is my back screened-in porch, which I love. And I have rocker chairs like Grandma did. Grandma always had her rocking chair, and she always had her Bible by her rocking chair. And I just love that. I love that. I learned so much from my grandma. And she lived in a little country house by the railroad track, and we would wave to the caboose. Back then they had cabooses, the caboose driver as well as the train engineer. And it was just so neat. And the train came by every hour. They had a swimming hole, and Grandma had well water. She didn't have hot water. She had to boil that water. She heated her house with a fireplace and a coal stove in the kitchen, and she cooked fried chicken, and there was always food in the kitchen, very simple food. And Grandma just touched my life so much. I'm so much like Grandma, and so yeah, so my channel, because I still call them pages, but they're channels, are really I, want to have the name Grandma's Porch in there some which way. So as I change my channel's name, which I'm still going to keep Diana Brianne on there so people can find me. And yeah, so Grandma's Porch. And so I really got to thinking about my grandma today and how she kept life simple. And so, I'm over 60 and I do everything I can to keep life simple. And I'm a very, very busy person. I have 3 young adult kids, as I said, and they all go to college and they live at home and life is busy. I have a husband who has all kinds of good things going on. And then I have all kinds of good things going on. And my kids have all kinds of good things going on. So life is chaotic in my home. I do a lot of cooking. I talk about wigs. I talk about life. I talk about problems. I talk about opportunities. I talk about happiness. I talk about just about everything. So I hope you love my channel. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I hope you keep your life simple. Keep simplicity in your life, and I believe, at least that's the way I believe, and to each his own. I never impose my values, my insights, my ideas, my decisions. I don't impose anything on anyone, but I just share how I live my life. And I believe in great health, healthy eating. Y'all know I'm a little bit of a vegan, and not my family though. They all are not vegan, so I just try to stay with being a vegan. And I love nice people. So if you're a nice person and you want to be on my channel, I hope you are here. And if you're not nice, please move on to someone else's. So anyhow, I've got to go, but I just wanted to share with you about my grandma and how wonderful, wonderful she was. And her philosophy in life was so basic and so simple. Keep it simple. Okay. Well, from my house to yours, God bless you. And I hope to talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Acting nice or truly being nice. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brianne. So how do you know if someone's just acting nice to you, but they're really not thinking nice thoughts about you? Or are they sincere? Are they really, really being nice? I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I can pretty much decipher who is being who. But sometimes you can't always know who is being really sincere and who's not being sincere. And are they being nice because they genuinely want to be nice, or are they being nice for a hidden agenda or a hidden reason? We have to know that, because sometimes people can be nice, or they can be, what they call kissing up to us, so to speak, because they want something in particular. And it's not because they're genuine or have genuine feelings towards us. And so if someone's not genuine towards me and they're just kissing up, or they are insincere, I can pretty much read right into that. And it's important that if someone's nice to me, they're being genuinely nice, and that they are a nice person. I'm a nice person. I'm genuinely nice. You meet me, I'm genuinely nice. And I love genuinely nice people, but some people are only nice with an agenda. They're not nice when it doesn't fit their agenda. So just remember that. Always, when someone's being nice, are they being genuinely nice, or are they being nice with an agenda? From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Do something nice for your husband or your wife or your significant other. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brianne, and I really got to thinking today about doing something special for those that you love. And I often think that our spouses, our significant others, often get put on the bottom of the list sometimes. And I think it's really, really important to keep in mind that we worked very, very hard at one point or the other in our lives to develop that relationship. Often once people get married, they kind of think, well, I can just put that relationship on hold, or I can put it on maintenance and it'll take care of itself. But the problem with doing that is sometimes the relationship begins to deteriorate, diminish, and even end. And so my husband and I, we've been married close to 30 years. And in those 30 years, we always do little special things for each other. For example, in the morning, he gets up very early to go to the gym. I get up a little bit later, but he always routinely brings me a cup of coffee and sets it by my bedside. Now, he and I both know that I don't drink it at that point. I go back to sleep. But that gesture means so much to me that when he's gone, like on a trip or something, and that cup of coffee's not there waiting for me, I miss it. By the time I wake up, it's cold, so I bring it back in, I pour it in, back in with the coffee, mix it up, and pour it back in my cup. But it's just the fact that he does that little something for me that matters so very, very much to me. And likewise, I do all kinds of things for him equally. And, a lot of times, husbands and wives, they would rub each other's backs, or, massage their neck or whatever when they were dating, but now they hardly even touch. I love to give my husband a great back massage, or I'll just rub the back of his neck while we're in the movie theater, and often he does the same for me. And so the thing about it is that be good to your spouse, because you put a lot of time into that relationship. And just because you've been married 10, 20, 30, 40 years doesn't mean that you don't need to keep investing, because the minute that we quit investing in our relationships, often that's the minute that they begin to go downhill. So I'm always investing in any of my important relationships in my life. My family, I'm always doing things and investing time and energy to keep those relationships great. And so, do nice little, sweet little things for your spouse. Even those little gestures, they'll notice and they'll get used to. Even if they don't say anything, they've gotten used to them and likely appreciate them. And so for me, I do all kinds of special little things for the people that I love, and especially my husband, and he does for me. And I think that in itself helps keep relationships really, really good. Well, I'm going to go, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, as I'm really working hard at building up my subscribership. But for me, it's not all about subscribers. It's really about producing quality inspiration. I talk about all kinds of subjects. I talk about just about everything. And, some of the things I talk about are funny, and some of the things I talk about are more serious, and sometimes we just chit chat. So anyhow, talk to you all soon. God bless you, and hope to talk to you then. Bye-bye. Had I known what I know now. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about had I known what I know now. 2020 is perfect hindsight, isn't it? And when we look back, and we can always say, oh, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that, but we didn't know that at the time. Many situations in life I have looked back on, and I said, I probably would have made a different decision had I known what I know today. But we don't know that. I believe in gathering as much accurate information as I can, not inaccurate information. There's probably more inaccurate information than accurate information out there. So I believe in gathering accurate information about the subject matter that I'm focused on. I don't need to know everything about everything, because the world is too big for me to know everything about everything. I just try to understand what's important in my life, and I try to understand it with accuracy. And even at that, when I make accurate decisions based upon the accurate information that I have at the time, I can still look back in life and say, well, you know what? In hindsight now, I probably would have done things a little bit differently, at least. And so I think that we only have what we have to work with. We should never feel bad or anything else when we made the best decisions that we could at the time. Sometimes we have to remember that some circumstances are temporary, probably most are, and often don't make a permanent decision based upon temporary circumstances, as the saying goes. So I'm very careful about the kind of decisions and choices that I make, especially when solving an issue or problem, or even when something is going good. You know, a lot of times people will invest in something that's going good at the moment, but what they don't see is that sometimes that good something turns bad, and a good situation is not always a good situation. But we can't always predict the future, so that's why it's important for us to gather as much positive, accurate information that we can from reliable sources so that we can make great decisions, so that at a minimum we'll look back and say, well, I would have done things differently. But I think most people in life looking back can often say, I would have done things at least a little bit differently at one point or the other in some situations. And so gather great information, accurate information, and make great decisions each and every day to the best of your ability. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Get back in the habit. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Get back in the habit. Get back into your good habits. It's so easy to fall out of good habits and then fall into bad habits. Generally speaking, I think how most people do it is they've got good habits and then they kind of slack off on those good habits, and then slowly, gradually, they get into the bad habits. And so for me, I stay in tuned to my habits, my daily habits. Even recently, when I stubbed my baby toe in the middle of the night on a piece of furniture and I couldn't make it to the gym and do my 5-mile run, I got back out there as soon as I could, as soon as it was right to do so. And even if it wasn't a full workout or a full run, even if it was a little bit of a hobble, I got back out there because I wanted to stay in my positive habits. Because I noticed that even being away from the gym for a few days, I started to go, oh, do I really want to go? Yes, I do want to go because I want to stay in my positive habits. I identify my habits. I look at my daily habits, my spending habits, what I eat, where I go to eat, the kind of food I'm eating, the people I'm hanging out with, the places that I go, the books that I read, how I spend my time, what I do with my time. Am I maxing out my time? Am I using my time to the best of my advantage, or am I wasting my time? Because time wasting can be a habit as well. What we do with our time becomes a habit. So I'm always taking a look at my habits. I'm always tweaking them. I'm always refining them. I'm always making them the best that I can, because habits are important. I believe our daily habits often lead us to the successes that we want. So for me, I'm always working with my habits, keeping them great habits. And if I've slacked off on a habit and want to get back to it, I find a way to get myself back into that habit again, whether it's slowly or whether it's done immediately. I get back into my great habits. And also, bad habits, sometimes people will replace them with good habits and eventually replace the good habits with great habits. Either way, I think it's very, very important to be aware of our daily habits and what direction they're taking us in. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Get out of the gutter. Of the gutter. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, we're having this incredibly beautiful day today. I went out for my 5-mile run and it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going back outside in a little bit and just work outside. I love, love, love working outside on a beautiful day. And so I got to thinking today about getting out of the gutter. You know, so many people are in the gutter of life. They really are. They are just stuck in the gutter. And they don't even know how to get out because they've been there so long. And when I say the gutter, I mean the gutter of bad habits, the gutter of bad relationships, the gutter of bad associations, just the gutter where good things don't exist. And it's up to us to get our own selves out of the ditch or out of the gutter. You know, some people knowingly go into the gutter. They seek out friendships that, well, are kind of in the gutter. They're people that are really not doing right things in their lives. And I'm not just talking about stuck people. Stuck people is a totally different thing. Stuck people are not necessarily in the gutter. They're just kind of stuck in life. And they're not making any headway or any changes. Those are very different people than people that are in the gutter. Some people live their lives in the gutter. They live in bickering. They live in gossip. They live in jealousy. They live in hate. They live in nastiness. And often we see it on virtual media. There are people's pages or channels that are just full of chaos and nastiness and bitterness and unkindness. And that's what I call the gutter. And yet, when you go over to a really great page, a page or channel of positivity, where people are in harmony and doing positive things for their lives and for the lives of others, it's a totally different feel than being in the gutter. But it's amazing how many people choose to go into the gutter. It's not like they were thrown in the gutter. It's like most of the time it's by choice. They choose to go to the gutter because, well, at some level they're comfortable. At some level they're just comfortable being in the gutter. And they understand that mentality. But they almost feel uncomfortable being around people that are not in the gutter because their mentality has become so gutter-like. Their habits are gutter-like. They have bad habits. Maybe they don't show up for work on time. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they spend all their money as soon as they get it and save nothing. Maybe they associate with other people who have really bad health habits and really bad habits in general. Maybe they hang out with people that are bitter, jealous, angry, bickering all the time, arguing with other people. It's because that's what they've gotten used to. That's what they kind of almost feel comfortable with. And then when they get around healthy-minded people, people that are doing positive things, they sometimes don't even know what to do or how to act. But they can change their lives. They can go over to where positivity lives. And it may take them a little while to adjust, but they'll likely adjust a lot quicker and a lot faster than they realize once they're around positive-minded people, because positive-minded people want other people to succeed. Negative-minded people, people in the gutter, they don't want people to get out of the gutter. They want to keep them in the gutter with them. So it's really up to the person to get out of the gutter and back on the positive road of life by connecting with positive people and people that are going in a right direction. Well, I am getting back outside on this beautiful day. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. May God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Get some attitude going on. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, there's good attitude and bad attitude, and I believe in the good attitude. I never believe in arrogance because, well, arrogance is sort of insecurity trying to hide or trying to disguise itself. So when I see someone who's arrogant and pompous, I just say that's a very, very insecure person. So when I talk about attitude, I mean just feeling good about yourself and feeling good about other people. You know, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're probably not going to feel all that great about other people. So I believe in getting some attitude. You know, when I walk into a room, I'm comfortable. I talk to people whether they talk back. And if they don't want to talk back, I move on to someone else who does. And if no one wants to talk, well, then I just enjoy my own company. I don't worry about it. I have confidence. I have attitude. And I see a lot of people that just kind of slumped over and they're just kind of walking along and they have no attitude. And I believe in carrying yourself, having attitude, believing in yourself. And that's a good thing. That's not arrogance. That's not being pompous. It's believing in yourself so that you can be your best for other people. If you don't believe in yourself, you're likely not going to interact at your best with other people. You know, people who lack confidence often are the kind of not so nice people, but people with true confidence, people with total confidence, are people that really are able to interact and be comfortable with all kinds of people and be able to be nice. You know, the best attitude is being nice. You know, I'm a nice person. You meet me in person, I am really, really nice. I'm not a pushover. Oh, no, definitely not. I am very, I don't know what the word is, strong, I guess, strong, I don't know. But I am kind and I am nice and I am friendly. If I want to make friends, what do you got to do? You got to be friendly. I don't wait for other people to come to me. I go to them and I say, hi, I'm Diana. It's great to meet you. How are you? You know, and a lot of people just kind of shirk back and they wait for someone to come over. I've never, ever done that. You know, even years ago, back in my old dating days, I was always friendly to guys. I didn't wait for them to kind of come over to me. I didn't go over to them, but if I saw them, I smiled. I was hello. I didn't play hard to get. Of course, I was hard to get. But I didn't play it. You know, I played nice and I really was nice. And I think any guy that ever went out with me, always, you know, they came back because I was nice. Ultimately, they wanted someone nice. If they didn't want someone nice, then they didn't want me because I was nice. But I believe in being nice. I believe in carrying yourself with attitude. Get some attitude going on. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're not diminishing anyone else and as long as you're lifting other people up in the process. When you have a great attitude about yourself, you want other people to be happy. And so you are always in the process of lifting people up, not putting them down. If you have to put people down to lift your own attitude up, that's insecurity and that's arrogance, and that's not going to work, and it's not going to work to your benefit. But if you lift other people up in the process while you are with your attitude, because you've got a nice, wonderful, amazing attitude, you're probably going to do really, really well. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Get your edge back. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I think a lot of people feel that they've lost their edge in life and they're just stuck. They're stuck in a lot of routines and habits that they just don't like. Perhaps they had the best intentions at the beginning of the year to lose their weight and to become fit, but somewhere along the line they got distracted and now they're in the daily habit of not doing the things that they were going to do. Well, I believe it's never too late to start. It's never too late to get back in the game again. And even if we feel like we're running behind, that's okay. We're going to get caught up eventually. And the key to it is to get back into the game of life, getting our edge back. I believe for me, you know, my life is really, really busy. And yet I believe for me that it's important for me to keep my edge in life, to keep my fitness edge, to, you know, make the right decisions financially, to make the right decisions in my relationships. Sometimes people get into relationships and they get stuck in certain behavior patterns that are negative and they just don't know how to get out. Well, I believe that when we consciously say, hey, I want to create a great relationship out of this stuck relationship, I'm going to change my behaviors toward it. And when we change our behaviors towards a relationship, often that relationship begins to change because, well, if we're speaking positive words over it instead of negative words, it's going to have an impact. And gradually gradually the other people involved in that relationship, they are probably going to change too at some level. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. That relationship is likely to change. And it's the same way if you have bad spending habits and you're just out there spending. Sometimes you have to pull back and you have to say, no more. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to discipline myself and spend correctly. And it's the same way with, some people binge eat or whatever. They're eating all this garbage food. And sometimes they have to say, you know what? It's never too late to get started back. I'm going to get started back. I'm going to get my edge back. And so I believe that it's never too late to get our edge back in life, whether it's our jobs, whether it's our career. Perhaps you've gotten a bad attitude on your job. Change that. Get your edge back on your job in a positive way by being very, very positive in every aspect on that job. I believe that we can all get our edge back. We just have to be willing to jump back in there in the areas that we need to improve on, that we kind of got stuck and complacent along the way. So I believe in getting my edge back. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Getting down to the nitty-gritty on Grandma's porch. Grandma's porch, getting down to the nitty-gritty. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, y'all know Grandma's porch by now. If you've been here on my channel any length of time, this is where my family and my friends, we just come out here and we talk about just about everything. We get down to the nitty-gritty sometimes. Life is about all kinds of things. It's about the happy moments, the sad moments, the in-between moments, all kinds of moments. I remember growing up on Grandma's porch, and she had a front porch swing and a back porch swing and a yard swing. And so we all swang on that swing, usually 3 at a time, and we would talk about just about every topic. Sometimes we brought our problems to Grandma's porch, and she'd get down to the nitty-gritty of it all, and we'd try to figure out that problem, and we did. And sometimes we talked about world events. Sometimes we had a little chit-chat about other people. Nothing bad. We just wanted to know what was going on in other people's lives. And so Grandma's porch was a place that we all just congregated and that we met. When I was little, I used to sit on the step while the adults swang on the swing. And then there was a rocker over in the one corner on the porch, and it had linoleum. You remember old linoleum on the front porch? And then they had this old well water sink on the front porch. And I loved the taste of that well water. And we would sit out there, and I'd sit on the step as a small child and play little board games or whatever. And as I grew older, I got to move over to the swing and sit on the swing with the adults, usually in the middle. And we'd talk about everything. Sometimes we'd move out to the one swing in the yard, and then sometimes we would move out to Grandma's front porch. Now, Grandma's front porch was actually, to me, it was a back porch, but the back porch was the front porch, and the front porch was the back porch. The front porch actually faced the railroad track. So you didn't come in that way. You came in the back porch, which was more like the front porch, if that makes sense to y'all. And I used to wave to the conductor and the caboose man back when they had a caboose, and because she lived out in the country and the railroad tracks was there, and she had a swimming hole at the not far away. We'd all go jump in the swimming hole and go swimming. A real swimming hole. It was like a big, almost like a pool, but nature's pool, I guess. And so we had a wonderful, wonderful time. And yes, we sat out there and we got down to the nitty-gritty in life. We talked about our problems. We cried out on that porch. We laughed out on that porch. We had all kinds of wonderful conversations out on that porch. Relatives and friends from long ago would congregate. Old-time friends that we hadn't seen in 100 years would end up showing up on Grandma's porch. People stopped by to visit Grandma's porch. And especially if they had a problem, they knew where they could bring it. They could bring it to Grandma's porch so they could sit and talk and get down to the nitty-gritty. And I can tell you, Grandma always got down to the nitty-gritty. Well, y'all know I don't give suggestions. I don't give advice. I just give you my opinion on how I see things in life and how I would likely handle it if I were in that situation. Now, remember, when we're in a situation, often we handle things differently than we think that we would handle it when we're not in the situation. But either way, I give you my opinion on it, and it's only my opinion. And that was what Grandma did. She never told you what to do. She never gave you advice. She never gave you suggestions. She'd just give you her take on what she thought about it. And that's what I do. I talk about all kinds of issues. And so we talk out on Grandma's porch, and we get down to the nitty-gritty. So from my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Starting something new, the importance of being organized and flexibility. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking today about organization and the importance of being organized, and also the importance of flexibility in our schedules. Next week, I start back to college. I started back after 40 years of being out of college. I started back last semester, and now my next semester is starting up. So my life is going to get so busy. I drive an hour to and from to the college, and I'm taking 16 credit hours, which is a lot. And so life is going to be busy for this 62-year-old woman, and I love it. And I realize that I'm going to have to dedicate a lot of focused time to my college work. Two things that I do. Number one, I'm very organized. I make sure that my home is organized, my life is organized, my books are organized, my car is organized. I've got just about every area organized. And yet, I also let room in my life for flexibility. If a problem comes up or a new opportunity that I really want to embrace, I have enough flexibility in my schedule that I can do that. But I find that keeping flexibility and being organized really helps me be successful at whatever I am starting out at and continue to do. So organizing is not that hard to do. I take it and break it down into small steps. For example, if I'm organizing my house, I'll take one room a day and I'll just work on that room. And often I don't even set aside a whole lot of time to do it. I kind of do it as I go. When I go in that room, I kind of organize something. The next time I go in that room, I organize something else. So I'm really not even using or taking up time and setting time aside to do it, to organize. And with flexibility, I just make sure that I leave enough flexibility in whatever I'm taking on, that if other things come up, I can be flexible enough to embrace or deal with those other things. So I find those two aspects very helpful to me when starting something new. And so college life for me is still very new, and I'm still learning an awful lot of things because, well, college has changed from 40 years ago. One of my things that I learned not too long ago was when I realized that there was a code that we had to put in to a computer program that we were using. And I had actually scratched off the code and threw it away from the book. I didn't know that that code was part of the class curriculum, that we needed that code. And so I learned kind of the hard way, and I almost had to buy a new book to get the code again, but I didn't. Fortunately, I saved the receipt and they were able to give me another code. But the thing about it is that when we find ourselves organized, it tends to make things flow a lot easier. So I do try to stay organized, and I love being organized. And it's really not that hard to be organized if you take it in small steps and stages. So that's what I do, along with flexibility. Well, I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I hope to talk to you all soon. From my house to yours, God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. When we climb the mountain, the top of the mountain is often the steepest. Getting to the top of the mountain. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about when we have a goal, a dream, a vision, how it can be like climbing a mountain. When we first get started, we're all energetic, and we have our running shoes on, and we usually make a lot of headway because that is the easiest part usually in the beginning once we get started. And then in the middle, things get a little more complicated and the climb is a little steeper. But when we're almost there to the very top of that mountain, often obstacles will come in our way to kind of slow us down or stop us. And often the steepness is so much higher. And so sometimes we get slowed down. Sometimes it feels like we're almost at a standstill, and we're not that far off from the top of the mountain, but it just doesn't seem like we can get there. I believe that's often when people begin to look down, and often that's when they fall down the mountain because they're looking down instead of up. I believe it's important to look up and keep our goal in sight and in mind. And I believe that when we do that, likely we are going to get to the top of that mountain. As I said, the top of the mountain is always the steepest, and it's most often the hardest part to climb, even though it's actually the shortest distance. So remember, if you're at the top of the mountain or almost there, keep on keeping on, because you will make it to the top. It's only a matter of time and energy and focus. Often that last few climbs take the most focus to get there. But once you get to the top of the mountain, it's breathtaking and all worth it. Well, we are having a beautiful day out here today, and I did my 5-mile run, and I'm going to work around here today and likely work in my new little garden that I have created. And well, actually my sons and I created this garden, and we're not gardeners, so we are new at it, and we hope that the garden turns out wonderful. And so I wish you all a great day, and remember the climb to the top of the mountain. When you get almost right to the top, sometimes that's the steepest, but just keep on going. You will likely make it. From my house to yours, may God bless y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye. Stop the gossiping. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. People who gossip. You know, we've all known them. The busybody, the gossiper, the person that talks behind your back, the person that has some information for you about somebody else. We all know those kind of people. And you know what? I don't hang around them because I don't gossip. Now, I like to know information. If there's something pertinent that's true and factual, or we think it's factual, I want to know that. That's not gossip to me. Something that can affect my life or something that someone else is going through. I kind of want to know that. And yet, if it's just purely done for malicious purposes, to stir the pot, to create some havoc, someone's bored and they want to talk about somebody else, I don't want anything to do with it. That's negativity, and I don't play into that. Gossip is a negative trait, okay? We're not talking about sharing information. That can be a very, very good thing if it's accurate information. But even that, we have to be careful to make sure that that information is accurate, that it's not messed up in any way. And so for me, I just don't like gossipy people. They remind me of Mrs. Kravitz on Bewitched, and she was a lovable character, of course, but that was all in fun. But true gossipers often cause havoc and create havoc in other relationships. They often make up lies. They often spread untruths. They often spread misinformation. No, not for me. I don't want anything to do with gossipers. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. May God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. The value of gratitude. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and you are looking at my newest little find from the junk store. You've got mail. It's a little hand-painted mailbox. I think it's an antique. I'm not sure. And so I am just, doing a video here to talk about gratitude. And, I got to thinking about the junk store, and I lovingly call it the junk store, but it's really not a junk store. It's a treasure shop. But growing up, we called thrift shops junk stores because back then they were pretty junky, and they really, really were not all that good. And so basically, I still love to go to thrift shops, or as I lovingly call them, junk stores. This one happens to be a very, very nice one, and their prices are very low, and they donate all the proceeds to the local community. So I think it's just wonderful, wonderful. And so anyhow, I had gotten to thinking about being poor, and gratitude. Growing up, we were so very, very poor. We had a car that half the time it would only work in reverse. And I remember my brother driving me 2 towns over. I was 5 years old, he was 16, and he drove the car in reverse 2 towns over to go to the courthouse steps to get our box of commodity foods back before food stamps ever was around. They had commodity boxes of bread and flour and sugar and things like that. And so we would go over there every week, and I would be on the lookout for any police that could pull us over. So if I saw one, I told him in that he'd pull over so we didn't get pulled over and get a ticket or towed away or whatever. So we were really poor with a car that only went in reverse. Our little town had people that there was the rich people, which really weren't all that rich, but from the poor people's perspective, they were rich. And then they had the poor people, and then they had the dirty necks. Well, we were the poor people. And down the street lived the dirty necks. And on any given day, if the wind blew, their garbage would go into our yard. And we just did not like that. So the rich people and the poor people looked down on the dirty necks, and the dirty necks looked down on the poor people. But I have to tell you, growing up poor taught me the value of gratitude, the gift of gratitude. And I am probably one of the most grateful people I know. I'm grateful for the little things, the big things, all my blessings. And it's kept me centered all these years. And I never take anything for granted. I just feel so blessed. And, so many people take life for granted. And that's not a good thing. I never take my blessings for granted. And I always take care of my blessings. I think people who are just given everything up front and never have to work for anything, often those people don't appreciate. They don't have gratitude because they've never had to not have something. And so they often don't take care of it. They throw things away. They throw their opportunities away. Being that I had to struggle for every opportunity that I got, I value my opportunities. I took wonderful care of my opportunities. And after I achieved them, I took wonderful care of whatever I achieved, whether it was a relationship, a job, my health, whatever. I took care of everything. There's such value in gratitude, 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 and being thankful. And I believe in being thankful every single day of my life. And so I believe in having the the gift of gratitude. It is a gift. And people that lack gratitude really lack something very, very important and meaningful in their life, because gratitude can shape our relationships, it can shape our jobs, it can shape our marriage, it can shape everything that we have. It can shape how our lives turn out, how our finances turn out. Gratitude, 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 and being thankful. Well, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm very grateful when you subscribe, and I thank you so much. And I hope to talk to you all soon. From my house to yours, God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Gratitude and the Throwaway Society. Gratitude and the Throwaway Society. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. And you know, I really got to thinking about gratitude this morning. Gratitude for those small things in life. Gratitude for what we already have. Gratitude for the people that we have in our lives. You know, so often what I'm seeing in our society and in societies at large are people that are not grateful. You know, one day my son and I were watching a video for one of his college projects, and it was on some young men who had come to this country from a very poverty-stricken country. These young men were so humble and so grateful over the tiniest little things. It was so heartwarming. When here in our country and other countries, we often see people who are not grateful for anything. If anything, they're demanding, and they expect, and they feel entitled. And so I think sometimes when events happen like what is going on recently in the news, it kind of brings people together, and it kind of brings people down a peg. And I think sometimes people need to be brought down a peg, because we need to be able to look at what we already have, the blessings that we already have in our lives, from the smallest of blessings to the biggest of blessings. We are a society about more, more, more. Let's get more, let's have more, let's make more, let's reach higher, let's obtain our dreams, that we're not focused on what we have. We're not focused on the blessings that we have. I'm all about reaching higher. I'm all about making dreams bigger. I'm all about getting better and better. And yet I am focused on gratitude for what I have today, for where I'm at today, regardless of what I achieve in the future. You know, often people's happiness is very short-lived with their accomplishments, because they're right on to the next accomplishment, and then they often discard what they've already achieved. They don't take care of what they've achieved. They demand more and more and more. As I said, I think a lot of people have the feeling of entitlement. They feel that they need, people should give them everything. And I feel like, you know what, we need to earn what it is that we get one way or the other. I don't believe in entitlement unless we are truly entitled to something. Sometimes we've worked for something, and so we are entitled to it. And yet when we cease gratitude in our lives, when we begin to get demanding, when we don't look at the blessings we already have achieved in our lives, often that's the beginning of failure. And so I think this time that we're all going through right now is a time of reflection, a time to say, hey, I'm grateful for what I have. I want to keep what I have. I love the people in my life, perfect or imperfect as they may be. I love them. And so it gives us time to reevaluate our relationships and look at what's really, really important. You know, we are a throwaway society with relationships as well. Well, if this relationship doesn't work like I think it should, well, I'll just throw it away and get a new one. That's where people are at. In my grandmother's days, people held on to their relationships through some very challenging and difficult times often because, well, it wasn't that easy to go out and find someone else, and somewhat, to some degree, their dependency kept them together. Now, I'm not saying that every relationship should stay together. I think that there are some relationships that should end, absolutely. But for the most part, not. I think most relationships people throw away when they should be working on them instead. People have become lazy and complacent. They don't want to work on a relationship. They would rather just throw it away and start over again. And then it's a cycle. They go from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship. And I think this time is bringing us together in a way that has us looking at our relationships and saying, you know what, I'm grateful for the people in my life that I love. I'm grateful for what I've already achieved. I just want to hold on to what I've achieved, you know. And yes, of course, we want to always be reaching to the next level and improving and changing and doing all the wonderful things in life. I'm all for that. And yet, before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of the blessings that I have, that I savor the blessings that I have, that I respect the blessings that I have, that I acknowledge the blessings that I have, and that I'm just taking really great care of the blessings that I have already. So just remember, take care of the blessings you have. Don't get arrogant with your blessings. Don't be a throwaway society. You know, I am grateful for the smallest of wonderful things in my life, and I'm grateful for all the big blessings. And I'm always about how can I improve my life? How can I reach higher? How can I live my best life? And yet, I am grateful for where I'm at now, even if nothing ever changed in my life. I'm grateful for where I'm at today. So learn the attitude of gratitude. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. And I'm going to show you Grandma's porch with all the pollen. You thought I was done, right? Well, this is Grandma's porch, and I've had it covered up. You can see it's covered over there, and I took the cover off of Grandma's porch because I've been sitting out here. But we have so much pollen for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to have to hose everything down. But we have to cover everything so it doesn't get damaged with the green pollen. Anyhow, have a wonderful day. May God bless you all, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Create a great support system. Advocates. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I believe in advocacy. I believe in having people that can stand up or intervene for us when we can't do it for ourselves. I also believe in being an advocate for those that I love and care about. You know, advocacy can be in any area of life. When my mom took sick, I became her advocate. I stepped in. I made sure that she was getting the best doctor's care and best hospital care and best nursing care and best any kind of care. I was a great, great advocate for my mom. I was a great advocate for my children. And I would be a great advocate if my husband ever needed me to be his advocate, but I'm his best friend and his wife. And yet I could be a great advocate if necessary. And my husband is a great advocate for me. And so I believe in having the right advocates, having the right support system that we surround ourselves, and having knowledgeable people who are competent, knowledgeable, that care about us, that have our genuine interest at heart. Because there can be times in life where we become more vulnerable, and we need that other person to kind of pick up and sort of hold us up and make right decisions. And when my sister was sick, and in the hospital, I handled everything pretty much with the doctors and the nurses at that time. And I was her advocate in a sense. And so we can be an advocate in so very, very many ways. We can be an advocate for a friend. We can be an advocate for a family or a relative. We can be an advocate actually for a stranger when we feel it is right to do so. And surrounding ourselves with competent, wise people, informed people, people who love and care about us, can be one of the best things that we can do. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Guard your goodness. Guard your goodness. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. Well, we are having this gorgeous evening, early evening out here on Grandma's porch. Actually, gorgeous day. And I am so enjoying it, so enjoying it. It's just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. And I got to thinking about guard your goodness, and guard the goodness of those that you love. By guarding, I mean just be alert that there are other people in the world that are not always so good. Good people are the ones that sometimes get taken advantage of, because the people that are a little bit unscrupulous, is that right word, or scrupulous? Can't remember. Scrupulous, I think. Scrupulous people will often prey upon the good, because often the good want to think the best of other people. And I do think the best of other people. I try to always think the best, and yet I'm alert that there are good people out there, and there's more good people than bad people, in my opinion. And yet there are people out there that are not nice, and that are not thoughtful, and that use other people or take advantage of other people. And so with my family, I'm very alert to the people that they associate with, to make sure that they're associating with the right kind of people. And if they weren't, I would tell them right away. Whether they liked it or not, I would tell them, because they're my family and I love them and I look out for them, and I'm the mom. And likewise, I would want someone to tell me if they saw someone that was not having my best interest at heart. Because the people that I surround myself, whether it's my family or my friends or co-workers or anybody else, I want those people to have my best interest at heart, because I'm going to have their best interest at heart. But I realize that in my life, I've seen people that were not so nice, that took advantage of other people. They took advantage of people's goodness. So I always say, guard your goodness. Be good, be a kind person, be thoughtful, be loving, but don't be foolish. Don't be foolish and give your goodness away to people that will stomp on it and use it and abuse it. And so I believe that we have to be alert, that there are many, many wonderful people in the world, more great people than we may even realize around us. And yet there, on occasion, can be somebody who's not so nice. So I always say, guard your goodness. From my house to yours, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye.